I already rented out a hotel right down the street from Dragon Con. It's going on at the exact same time, so just be prepared. So we need to make sure we get all of the guests we want. So we want Jason Momoa, right?
We have $25.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody know anybody who impersonates an Aquaman?
My cousin Jeff.
Oh, okay. Well,
Would you do it for 25?
I think I can do it for $15.
15. Okay, that leaves us 10.
okay, see, we're within budget. That's good.
Sweet.
Okay. And then I'm looking for a ball pit. I want the ball pit to be as big as one of the ballrooms in the room. Can we do this?
We have $10.
I'm going to pee in it.
$10.
Yeah.
Okay. Can somebody get a giant ball?
Oh, I have
For
an idea.
$10?
I have an idea. Let's pre-sell the tickets.
Oh, good idea.
Say we have an awesome venue.
Yeah.
Fantastic guests
And then,
Oh, yeah.
And then wire them. Say we quote unquote wired the money.
to our vendors.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Nothing can go wrong with
Okay.
this.
Or if it worse comes
Do we-
worse,
do
we
we
just
need-
ask people for money.
Exactly.
Do we need to get a loan?
This sounds
Big
really
loan.
A big
familiar.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do that.
Hey guys, welcome to the Free Rotation podcast. I'm your host for this episode, Becky, and I'm joined by my usual group of friends. Hi, Moreland.
Hi.
Hi, Bobby.
I hate my life.
Hi, Angie.
Hi.
Oh,
So-
are you guys con goers right now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, guys.
No.
I'm so uncomfortable.
All right, well, okay. So, yeah, we're talking about cons today, like conventions, but we're flipping it up a little bit. We've talked about Dragon Con. We've talked about AWA, DreamHack, all of these really
have.
popular cons in Atlanta, but what we haven't talked about, guys.
Where was I for these discussions?
You got the wrong weekend off for
yeah, you
AWA
got the
like
wrong
a fucking
weekend off.
idiot.
But we're going to talk about the most famous of cons, the failed cons. And to be honest, this actually was inspired by, thank you, Netflix and Hulu, for doing the documentary series on the Fyre Festival that happened 2 years ago. And now everybody's making so much money off of it for documentary purposes.
So question, is Fyre Festival a con or is it a festival?
It was a festival.
It was a 2-week festival.
Okay,
Yeah.
then why are we talking about it?
Well, because
Because it was failed. It failed.
Well, it
miserably.
failed technically, and that was
miserably.
That's what inspired me. Is they were like, "Hey, we got these 2 things coming out about this failed whatever, festival that happened," and I was like, you know what? We haven't really talked about cons that failed. As nerds, I feel like we need to cover these.
I'm
things.
not a nerd.
Festivals that sucked.
So, or cons that suck. So we're going to cover 3 specific cons today, and a couple of ancillary ones we discovered while going down the deep dive of YouTube.
Oh, we're using big words today. Ancillary. Holy
Oh,
shit.
man, I've been at work all
Can
day
I
and
have
I'm
my
tired.
$5 bill for you? You charge for
Why
using
don't you
big
give
words.
me $5 for using that
Fuck
word?
you, you're a lawyer.
Why don't y'all just go use that $10 to
So
buy
we're
me a
gonna
dictionary so I can figure out what the hell that word meant?
Anyways, whatever. So we're talking. Let's start with the first one. All the Tumblr users brought all the boys to the yard. All 6 of them. DashCon.
There was more than 6 there.
DashCon.
Okay, so 36. My bad.
Sure, 69.
So DashCon, if you're not familiar with this concept, was a con that was started by Tumblr users. And it's as stupid as it sounds. So, a lot of these cons that have started that involve certain people who are famous, they had people who were following them, but these were like a bunch of yahoos that decided that, hey, I like going down the Tumblr hole. I like to look at pedophilia and art and naked people.
Okay, you're going to offend Tumblr users because that's not what
Tumblr's not
Tumblr
around
is.
anymore.
Yeah, they took the porn off there. No one
Yeah,
uses
okay,
it
fine.
anymore.
Pre-new Tumblr, this was supposed to be a con based on all of the people who loved the things that people loved about Tumblr, which was a lot of actual fandoms like Doctor Who and Supernatural and all that.
And the
And
gay
memes.
stuff.
And memes.
And memes. And Welcome to Night Vale.
Oh, that shit's fantastic.
I've never listened to it.
It's so fucking good.
So
They're making a show on FX about it.
basically what happened is in 2014, they decided that they were going to have DashCon, which of course they couldn't use Tumblr because that was a copyrighted word, so they called it DashCon for your dashboard. So the con had initially, there's a lot of stuff that went into it that kind of started going wrong initially. So we ended up, people got there at like 9 o'clock in the morning. There was nothing scheduled till 1 o'clock. So people were sitting around and
Doing nothing.
Doing nothing. And then about 1 o'clock, you know, stuff starts coming out that they need to actually get more money because they only could, I think it was like they only had half of the amount of money.
No, they didn't even have half.
They had $17,000.
No, they needed $17,000.
They said they hadn't paid the venue yet.
Yeah.
Right. So,
which we know after the fact they had.
Yeah. So it turns out they had made an agreement with the venue. I think it was like a Renaissance.
It was Marriott.
A Marriott or whatever.
Yep.
And they were like, we could put down we could put down a deposit, and then as the door sales happen, we are going to be able to pay you the rest of the money. And they were saying it would be about 5,000 to 7,000 people who showed up for this con. Probably about at most 1,000 people showed up.
Yeah, at most.
So at that point, the venue was like, "Hey, you're gonna have to come up with $17,000 to pay off for the rest of the weekend." So instead of figuring it out without telling anybody, they pulled all of the people who were at the con into one room and said, "Hey, they're gonna shut us down. They're gonna kick us all out. We need $17,000." So that was like the first sign that something was amiss.
This happened on Friday?
Yeah, it started on Friday.
This happened on a Friday.
Like, this is just going to be a rough start, guys. So then, as the con progresses, they, one of the big things they advertised was this ball pit that would be massive and you could go jump in it.
It was a kiddie pool full of balls.
And not one of the big kiddie pools.
Not
No.
a big
For
kiddie
like
pool.
8-year-olds. No, it's
Yeah.
a 3-year-old pool.
Yeah, it was a tiny ass. Yeah, tiny.
If you
Tiny.
If you ever see anything like any sort of memes with a ball pit, that's where this meme came from. It was the DashCon ball pit.
I peed in it.
Which
You
it's
probably would have.
Which it's funny because this was like one of the purported things you could get, like an hour in the ball pit, blah, 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 blah. So as the con is progressing, vendors are leaving because they're not getting paid. A lot of people cancel, including Welcome to Night Vale, which was one of the big featured things that you paid for.
That was kind of a dick move on their part because they canceled like last minute on the con. I was kind of fucked up.
And
I felt
then
bad.
one that was there that was supposed to be there never even confirmed that they were going to never even
Yeah.
was scheduled. Something giraffe or I can't
Oh, yeah. One
Well,
of the
here's what DashCon said about Night Vale. They wanted their money before they would go out. So they
Oh.
only had half the money, and they said, we'll run to the bank and get the rest of your money, so by the time you're finished, we'll pay you. So Night Vale said, peace out.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's just DashCon's side of the story, but
Right.
how do you not have the money when people literally gave you at least $10,000 in cash?
Well, they were
Scam.
Well, Noelle Stevenson, which is one of the artists that was there, turned out that like they hadn't paid for the rooms, they hadn't paid for anything that had been promised. So she ended up being at the Airbnb with the Welcome to Night Vale people because DashCon didn't pay for anything they said they would end up paying for. I kind of don't blame Welcome to Night Vale. Like, you go on, do all this stuff, and then it's like, hey, you've already performed, I don't have to pay you, which is not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
So people were really pissed off because they've been sitting there waiting for Night Vale.
And it was a paid panel, too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the way they were going to refund everybody is you got 1 hour in the ball pit,
Extra hour in the ball pit.
which, of course, by the end of the second day, the ball pit started deflating and somebody peed in it.
That me. Anyway, so my thing is with the ball pit, why don't you go to Costco's or Sam's or BJ's? They literally have those huge plastic pools where it's like, they're like
Yeah.
5 feet deep. Spend $500, spend another $500 on balls. Really, but if it's gonna be that deep, it should be foam and not balls.
Yeah.
Balls. Because I'm a 5-year-old, and that's what you should have done.
Yeah. I mean, it would probably... To be fair, I think they said they had like 19 to 20-year-olds running this and like one lady who was in her 30s. And it was a complete dumpster fire.
No shit.
So by Saturday, they just ended it. There was nothing else you could do about it. Like, the vendors weren't paid. You hadn't paid your guests. You hadn't paid. So DashCon effectively died. They tried to bring it back the next year, calling it Emoticon. Like an emoticon, get it? But once people started realizing it was the same people who had done DashCon, they're like, oh, hell no, bitches.
Yeah, and like you make these people show up, pay to get in the door, and then, oh, by the way,
We
you have to
need help
do it
paying for the
again.
venue.
Yeah. I will send you a penny.
I'm not even going to give you a penny. I already gave you my money. I
Actually-
gave you my money to attend the con.
Actually,
And now you're not having it.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you add no refunds to the website
Oh, yeah, that was another thing.
in the middle of the con? What?
Yeah. Good luck when I do a chargeback with my credit card. Go fuck yourselves.
Well, that was what we had watched a couple of YouTube videos, and one of them said even if there was no possible way that they made that $17,000 with the amount of people were there. They kept saying it had like
they said they pulled everybody in the room and they counted about 350 people in the room.
Yeah.
Everybody given a generous $20. It's still only like $6,000.
Yeah, it wasn't enough. So they probably lied to the venue.
Well, yeah, because they're said on the video, okay, we've got 17,000. We need more. What?
Yeah.
I would have
We need more?
I'd have been like, bye, I'm leaving.
And then you look at their
I'm going
spreadsheet of what they would have taken in with door sales, what they should have paid to Marriott. And it's like, where did your money go?
Right.
Oh, in your pockets.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, because look at
I mean, I kind of respect him for doing that. I mean, you're scammy, but I mean, at least you've been smart.
well, you're gonna get your ass sued. Like, think about all of these people.
Did they get sued?
Probably.
I
can't imagine they did it. Or somebody, the banks, when people started doing chargebacks, they started coming after their money.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, technically it was fraud.
It was.
All these things you purported that you were going to have, you didn't have. And it just goes to show that, you know, newer cons, you shouldn't hate on them. But if you're going to run a con, you probably need to have somebody who's actually run a con before you do it. So... That one was...
we've been to bad panels at Dragon Con.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if the whole cons were that bad?
Yeah.
Like last year, that ratchet woman who ran the one panel.
Yes.
Was I with this panel? No.
Yeah, remember that? Yeah, you were. She just always talked over them.
Oh, where the Ghost Brothers are at? Yeah, that fucking sucked.
Oh, God, lady,
Ghost
shut
Brothers was
up.
the best.
She wanted them so badly. She was like, hey,
She was so thirsty. And your shirt is always off. And then somebody would ask them a question, and she would answer for them. She'd be like, well, I think... Nobody... You're a moderator.
I'm not here for you.
Right?
But can you imagine
Shut up,
paying
lady.
money?
Someone's like, I guess I'll just say right.
Sure.
I'm staring at you like...
Yeah, right. Yeah. I wasn't there, so...
I
Yeah,
was
because
betting
you
his eye.
chose AWA over Dragon Con.
And then couldn't go.
I didn't choose AWA. I couldn't get the time off for Dragon Con. I did go to Dragon Con for a day. I didn't even get to go to Anime Week in Atlanta because it took the wrong weekend off.
What Con did you go? Friday?
Saturday.
Why didn't I see you Saturday?
I tried to avoid you.
No, I was with them the whole time.
No.
He was with us the whole time.
I was with them the whole time.
You're
How did-
such a bad liar.
I know I went one day.
You went a
Year
day
before
2
last
years ago.
month.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah,
2 years ago.
Time
Okay.
is relevant.
Yeah,
My bad.
this
I
year-
knew I went a day. Shut up.
I was
Nobody
with
asked you.
them because I was fucking a friend of theirs.
Yeah.
They were cute together.
We were,
OTP.
and they didn't live so far away. We could still fucking them.
All right. So,
Sure.
switching gears. Moreland, we want to talk about a con that you have near and dear to your heart as a furry, right?
No.
What?
God, no. After I watched the story, I've never even heard of this thing.
With the crinklies?
Are you a crinkler? Are you a crinkler, Moreland?
No, God. Oh, Jesus.
So-
Rainfurrest.
I feel like you're a crinkler.
No.
You're a crinkly.
That's so
No.
gross.
God, no.
So Rainfurrest is like the complete opposite of DashCon, where the people who ran it weren't the problem. It was the attendees that were the problem.
And partially the people that ran it too, so
I mean,
not as much.
It wasn't from a shit show from a financial perspective.
was
Right.
literally
It was
shit
a literal
show.
shit show because they had diapers
That's why I was
on.
like, shit. Ah, fuck. I gave it away.
So here's what happened with Rainfurrest. So it had already been a con. So this culminated into becoming a bigger con at a hotel, and at the Hilton. So there's a lot of shit that went down, literally.
All right, you want me to list off some of the things?
Yes.
Just for the first day.
Are you crinkling?
I'm crinkling.
Jesus. This is just the first day. Somebody messed with the plumbing, and for the next person that used that toilet, it flooded the entire hotel.
2 inches deep in water.
2 inches deep in water.
And below it was the server room, so the water leaked down
Like, who
into
the
the
fuck
servers.
puts a server room under a bathroom, though?
That's beside the point. Who the fuck messes with sewage?
Exactly.
People were disabling their smoke alarms so they could smoke weed.
No,
Hotbox the
hotboxing their
room.
room.
So they could
Yeah.
hotbox the room.
That's understandable.
Somebody ruined the hot tub by throwing towels in it and stuffing towels into the pump.
Yeah. Thousands of dollars. That is expensive.
Somebody pooped in the pool,
Yeah.
and that's just
It was probably a crinkly.
the first day.
Yeah, at least with
That was-
DashCon, they
that
just
was just
peed
the first
in the
day.
ball pit.
Yeah. So
Pooping in
then
the pool.
the next day, you've got other guests here at the hotel. Some older folks were in the lobby, and then what do they see more than
They see people walking around in diapers.
full
Diapers.
adult diapers.
Full adult diapers, just with poop in them.
Yeah, it's a full means.
Meanwhile, there's also nitrous oxide in the hallways of these bathrooms or hallways of the rooms. Like that's illegal, guys.
Why was that? What the fuck is that used for? Is it
You get
NOS?
high. You get high on it.
Yeah, you can get high on it.
More like,
Just
I'm having a talk with your people.
Just cans and cans and cans everywhere.
And meanwhile, the pet police are coming in and they're
'Cause I
arresting people
think-
for drug
don't
use.
you need that to make scissor? That's what you use to make scissor.
I don't know enough about drug use, but I'm sure it's probably something like that.
And it's also used to make whippets. I'm pretty sure.
What the fuck is this? I don't know what these things are.
I'll tell you later, Bobby. We'll do some whippets and wash it down with scissor.
God bless.
Whip it in Nene.
And then, and,
Whip it in
and,
scissor.
and then on the second day, you got people walking around,
Crinkling their diapers.
full diapers, just nasty
Changing
ass.
them, throwing them on people's cars.
Yep.
I actually appreciate that. It's
Me
petty
too.
as
I
fuck.
thought.
That's petty as fuck.
They broke the elevator.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
It
I
was
forgot
great
about-
because the guy in charge of the man. This is like Friday night, and he's like, "People, we don't mind that you use the elevator, but please use your hands. 'Cause
Don't kick it.
Yeah.
That's
You
right,
don't have to use your foot.
feet.
And then people were like, "Fuck you!" I'm gonna kick it anyway.
One of the congoers was arrested for assault.
Yeah.
One of the staff was arrested for sexual assault.
I mean, these people were like, we're going to
Oh, and
party.
this doesn't even count the number of people who drank too much and were carted out.
Right.
Now that happens at a lot of cons.
yeah,
we see these a lot.
Yeah.
There was not Dragon Con this year, but Dragon Con like 2 or 3 years ago. I was walking down to get back up my pass. Or I just picked up my pass before I bumped into y'all. This is Friday morning. Someone's getting carted off in an ambulance for alcohol poisoning.
Wow.
Friday fucking morning.
Hey, they're saying Thursday is the new Friday.
And I guess we saw that on the way to the liquor store at 10 a.m. We met up with Bobby. We were like, liquor store, yeah.
And then I'd be Angie and Magic and then drop from the tournament to go hang out with the girls.
I hate you, Bobby.
That's
Shut
super
up.
salty. That was so goddamn funny.
And then I went to play Hearthstone and got cheated out of that one. And I was done. That year was just over.
I'm sorry.
I didn't get salty about you dropping out to hang with a girl.
No, you did it, but I was just making a joke.
Oh, because I was like, if I did, I don't remember it. Usually I remember my salty
Were you
episodes.
sniffing nitrous oxide? Is that why you don't remember?
I was drinking scissor, yes.
I was sniffing markers the whole weekend.
I was sniffing Becky's ass all weekend.
Well,
Thanks, guys. Thanks for that image.
Whoa,
I'm
you
gonna-
said some shit about Tasha. I don't want to hear garbage from
okay. We're going to rail it back.
Oh,
So what ends up happening after all of this? It's like thousands of dollars of damage. That's
Yeah,
just
it was like 120,000 when they added it all up
It
at
was
the end.
it was gross.
They said that
a gross amount of
they said
vandalism.
that there was more damage at this con for Rainfurrest than there was for any other con combined.
Well,
and
like
once they were at a big hotel, they were at the Hyatt.
Yeah.
Was
No,
it
the
the
Hilton.
Hilton? It was the Hilton.
Well,
You know, Paris was on the phone.
they started they were going to do Rainfurrest the next year,
Oh yeah.
but nowhere would host it
In the entire Seattle, almost the entire state, nobody would host it.
because people were sending letters to the other
Big hotel
the other
chains.
hotels, basically saying, "I'm going to vandalize your place.
Hey,
If you have this con here, your place is going to get vandalized," and all kinds of other stuff.
And then the hotels were talking like, hey, this happened to us.
This happened to us. You don't want to do it.
so
Exactly.
I just can't. Furries already get a bad name, a bad reputation, but this probably didn't help whatsoever.
Not at all.
Question: are there cute furries, like women that look good, or out? You take the mask off?
Yeah, you can see them at Dragon Con a lot.
I've never seen a good-looking furry.
You're looking at one.
I know, but you're different. I've already fucked you. I don't care. I want to see like a good.
I've never seen a cute furry. You're looking at me.
I've seen
Yeah.
you, and it's
Well,
fine.
okay,
but I
okay.
want to see like a cute.
Have you ever seen the show Lost Girl?
No,
Okay,
that's
you
the
guys
lesbian
have
one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's hot. Well, the Queen of the Dark Fae, Ebony. She came, remember Becky, and she was
Oh,
dressed
yeah.
up like a pink pony. She was a furry, and
Oh,
she dressed like a
yeah.
pink pony and didn't know why in Atlanta. That was so funny.
Wrong city, buddy.
But yeah, she's very pretty.
So yeah, Rainfurrest effectively died after that.
Yeah,
Yep.
You can't
they
really come
shot
back.
those furries.
And people were,
Practically.
hey, wait, no. People were furious. They had to put down the con. It was effectively neutered.
Get the fuck out.
There's a reason some things are extinct. Like those jokes.
And her people.
Oh, that didn't give me warm fuzzies at all.
They were thrown into an oven and it should make you warm.
Furries.
It wasn't hot enough for you?
All right. So then,
Darker, camel, darker.
the most recent of cons that have become a dumpster fire is what has been called, what is called, it is actually called this, Tana Con. So if you didn't know what Tana Con is it was a convention created by Tana Mongeau, who is apparently a big name in YouTube. I don't know who the fuck she is. I don't even care who the fuck she is. She's kind of she's scuzzy.
She didn't.
What's wrong with that?
She didn't get an invite to VidCon to be at VidCon as a
She did have
guest.
an invite. The thing with that she got pissed off about was that she wasn't a featured creator. So what it meant is that she wouldn't be able to get through the backstage stuff and avoid people, like if she didn't want to get swarmed by people. So her big problem was that she would never be considered a featured creator. Well, if you're kind of going for an image of what you want YouTube to look like, Tana Mongeau is not who you want to have.
What does she do?
She's a YouTuber.
No, but like, what does she do?
She just tells stories, and a lot of them are kind of scuzzy stories. You can look it up. She's actually dating Bella Thorne.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the thing about
Bella
Tana
Thorne.
is that she's all right, and she is one of the biggest YouTube stars.
Yeah.
And they kind of snubbed her, and so her thinking is it because I started because I was poor? Is it because I'm gay? Like, why are these people who have hundreds of thousands less viewers than me in your backstage pass?
Is that the blonde one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
her.
she's hot. And I know she's gay,
Yeah.
but she's still hot.
Yeah, so she was all pissed off about it. So she's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start my own con.
To be inclusive.
Yeah. To blackjack and hookers. That's how it felt.
She wanted to be at VidCon, but a featured guest, featured creator, so she could be exclusive and hide herself, but then starts a con
To be inclusive.
She's like 20 years old, okay? We're not all smart at that age. Anyways.
Nobody's smart at that age.
So what
This
happens?
is why nobody likes you when you're 23.
Boo is smart.
That doesn't-
And she's 23.
She doesn't count.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she ends up, she decides that she's going to host a TanaCon that's free to anybody who wants to show up, like right down the street from VidCon, the weekend of VidCon. So her thing is like, hey, it's a free thing. You can all show up, or you can pay like the $65 and get an exclusive bag with certain items that are quadruple the price of your ticket. Okay, we'll get back to this in a minute. So when you hear free, what do most people think?
Woohoo!
Yeah, let's go to the free shit. So she, I guess, anticipated that there wouldn't be that many people. So the venue itself could only hold about 1,000 people. Essentially, probably about 5,000 people showed up.
Let's interject here, though. She hired a company that put on cons.
And to be fair, she did take fully ownership of it.
She had no idea, like, what went into it, so she hired people who should have known.
Yeah.
Right.
But on the flip side, it was also that a lot of people also criticized her because, like, the weekend before this con was supposed to happen, instead of helping plan anything, she was out partying. Like, when the whole con thing was going down, you couldn't find her anywhere to fix any of it. So there's probably blame on both sides. But what essentially happens is that sign-in is at 6 o'clock. They don't open the doors till 9 o'clock. Meanwhile, there are like hundreds of people standing outside. They had also said, don't bring food or water because there's a security check. Well, you're standing outside for 4 to 5 fucking hours in the dead heat of Los Angeles. What's going to fucking happen?
People
were passing out.
Yeah.
They had no water. They had no food. So they would get in, and one of the things she had said is, we're going to have all of these featured YouTubers like Shane Dawson, other really famous people. Well, none of them showed up.
Because they were all over at VidCon.
Well, she had like scheduled them for times at which VidCon was happening. So a lot of people were just standing in line at the hotel, just standing there with nothing to do, because there was this idea that this huge, like, this con was going to be happening, and they were going to be able to meet all of their favorite people one-on-one better than they could with VidCon. That did not happen. So what essentially then happens is the people who paid $65, they were supposed to have their own line to get in. They ended up mixing in with the free people. So a lot of people didn't get in.
I hate free people.
Well, yeah. So they didn't get into, a lot of people didn't get into the con. A lot of people didn't get their thing. And then going back to this bag, remember I said it was supposed to be quadruple the price of your ticket. So $65, whatever the quadruple, like $240.
Right.
They ended up with this plastic drawstring bag with stickers, a wristband, and a Tana condom.
Yep.
I saw that. That's funny.
So a lot of people were like, well, this condom has to be super expensive if it's quadruple the price.
Lambskin.
So another criticism.
Reusable.
Well, another criticism for her. Oh God, ew!
You just turned it inside out.
She
Right?
got it from Rainfurrest.
Probably.
The crinkly.
Yes.
Stop it.
So her big thing is that 15,000 people showed up. Well, no, it was about 5,000 people.
It was a shit ton of people.
It was a shit ton of people, but it wasn't 15,000 people. So a lot of criticism fell on her, and to be fair, she did own a lot of the criticism. And she did also hire this company.
And she fully refunded everyone.
Yeah, she did. So, but the point of it being was like she finally came back and said, "Yeah, you can't plan a con like 30 days out, especially during another con that's happening for the exact same purpose of your con."
Yeah.
Right.
So that was
You know, she make it to all of us. Post your sex tape of Bella Thorne, and I'll be a happy man. I think that's fair.
I'll accept
take
those
that.
terms.
I'll take that.
Well, Bella Thorne, to be fair, was kind of a bitch about it because she was blaming security for the problems. It was like, you only had like 5 hired security guards. What do you expect them to do with 5,000 people?
Let's be honest. What's the last thing Bella Thorne's acted in? The Ratchet and Clank movie.
I didn't even know she was in that.
Yes.
I didn't even know she was in that. I thought she was still in Disney.
She was like on the first episode of Scream.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she did get murderfied.
Yep.
Yeah.
In the first episode.
But hey, she was in a bikini the whole time.
Yeah, I was about to say she was wearing a bikini, so it was hot.
So, yeah, that was my 3 cons that I wanted to cover.
Well, there was one I found. It was Pokemon Go
You
in
want-
Chicago. Yeah.
Pokemon Go Fest.
You want to explain
Yeah.
what this was? Because I came in way late to this con.
So-
2017.
Yeah, in Chicago, they had a big Pokemon Go Fest. Pitted the 3, Valor, Mystic, and Instinct against each other.
Basically.
And there were big prizes for the winning guild at the end of the people who were there. And the servers went down. And
Well,
didn't work.
it wasn't even the servers the fact that the servers went down. You have all these people in this one area. You can't get connected. Like, you have a hard time connecting
Yeah.
your phone at Dragon Con
because the
there's
bandwidth wasn't there.
exactly. And Niantic called all the phone companies and were like, "Hey, we're expecting this traffic in the Chicago area. Can you handle it?" They're like, "Yeah." And the only people that sent out one of the mobile, basically a mobile hotspot, was T-Mobile.
Good guy T-Mobile.
Not T-Mobile. No.
Oh.
Bad guy T-Mobile.
I don't remember. If it was T-Mobile or somewhere. It was
Verizon.
one sent out, and it wasn't a big named one. No.
Yeah, and what was so weird that they did that? It was the president of Niantic was there,
Mm-hmm.
and this is $1 billion company.
It was like watching the BlizzCon 2018 thing when they did Diablo Immortals.
Yeah.
Like, they all walked out, and you're watching, like, the host and all of them, and she's trying to be all, like, happy and positive and look at the things, and meanwhile, you see, like, a water bottle
Just fly
past her head.
But you know what? To her credit, didn't even blink.
She didn't even phase her.
Didn't even her smile didn't drop.
She was on so much oxycodone, it didn't matter.
But as they're talking, people are, we can't play. We
Fix
can't
your
play.
game.
Yeah.
Fix your game.
But then at the end, they came out and everyone got their entry fee refunded and $100 put on their Pokemon Go account.
Under coins.
$100. No,
$100.
$100 worth of Poke coins.
Holy shit, I should have been there.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
They
did right.
made it good.
Yeah, they made it good.
Yeah, they made it right. They extended the event for 2 more days, and they extended the radius for 2 more miles.
Yeah.
So
See, that was
your
good guy
special
Niantic right there.
so your special Heracross spawns, your special
So quick
unknown
question.
spawns, all those.
Is that why I see people like expensive like Pokemon Go outfits in game? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Who spends money on this shit? Oh yeah, you do, Marlon. I'm sorry.
I only spend it on incubators.
I want
Oh,
the
you
Team
had the
Rocket.
Magikarp hat.
I want
costs
that
money, right?
Team
No, it
Rocket
didn't.
sweatshirt.
Oh.
In the game.
Yeah, the one with the rainbow rocket R.
Yeah.
That one's nice.
Yeah, I haven't.
I don't
spent
like
any
the
money.
gays, so I'm not gonna wear that.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
this podcast is over.
Stupid.
Yeah.
But remember, I'm the most inclusive.
I also have to throw out a mention about the con that it was literally a Firefly con. In the last minute, the creators of that con canceled. But the people who were on Firefly, like Nathan Fillion, all the big stars, still had the con at the hotel and had a huge party for the people who showed up. They still showed up. I was like, that is good guy actors right there.
Right.
Well, to be fair, besides Nathan Fillion, a lot of them aren't really doing anything. Right?
I mean, a couple of them are still doing stuff.
Are they?
Yeah.
Baldwin's not, right? He did Chuck, but that was really about it, right?
I think so.
And then
What's
the doctor.
her face is though? Rosario Dawson.
No, that's not Rosario. Does it play the black lady?
I know. I can never remember their names, but she
was
does
on
shit.
Suits. She was on Suits.
She was also on Xena a lot.
Then the
Summer-
Chicky Poo, Summer Glow, and then the Chicky Poo who played the prostitute is in Deadpool.
Christina Hendricks?
Yeah.
No. Oh, yeah, her. Christina Hendricks was the wife of Nathan Fillion's kid for like those 2 episodes. Remember, like the guy, the chick he marries on the planet or whatever?
Yeah.
The big titty lady.
I'm just trying to.
Okay.
But the doctor dude, he didn't do anything. Nor did the shepherd guy.
I'm just trying to hide because I have
Alan Tudyk has done,
absolutely
like,
no
a lot of, like,
clue
cameo
what I'm talking
appearances,
about.
though.
So-
That's not money.
Okay, guys, there's one failed con that hits pretty close to home. Do y'all remember Cardmageddon a couple of years ago?
No, I wasn't there. I don't remember that.
It was magic. It was when they were testing out their new software for tournaments and stuff. They put on Cardmageddon in Las Vegas. Expected thousands of people, and 100 showed up. Because they offered $25,000 prizes in each of the... so, two-headed giant, $25,000 prize.
Holy
Standard,
shit.
$25,000. Those people still aren't paid. They lost like over $100,000 there. I mean, they tested their software. So people were going to Wizard saying, hey...
Where's my money?
Bitch better have my money.
Because it first came to my attention because it was on Reddit. Because Brian Kibler was like, how do I get paid?
Oh.
I won this. How do I get paid?
Carmageddon. That should give you the hint. It's called Carmageddon.
Cardmageddon.
Cardmageddon.
Or you could say Carmageddon.
Hey. And
That's-
I have bad puns.
I got cancer from saying that. Literally, the tumors are coming out of my body right now.
Oh, yeah.
Someone saved me.
Oh, more lumber.
Well, I feel like we should start our own con.
Are they done
Just
with
to
the
see
bad?
what happens.
No. How about this? How about we should get a panel at a con?
Okay, we'll start.
Working on it. But hey, you know what? We say this, and like you so derisively said, Tana only had 5,000 people show up. If we had 5,
No.
If we had
I
5,
would
we
be
would
like-
die.
I wasn't saying
God,
derisively
five
that she had 5,000
No.
people
We're
showed up.
famous.
It's the fact that she was like, hey, it's free. Only 1,000 people are going to show up. 5,000 people show up later. Don't say free. Say $1.
Yeah.
well, if you don't know who she is, then don't come.
Yeah.
But it was right down from
You said
VidCon,
free.
and
Right.
she didn't know.
You said free.
I
Free.
mean, they have like images of people who are like that had 3rd-degree sunburns from
Yeah.
waiting outside.
Oh, yeah.
I'd
I
be
watched it.
happy if 50 people showed up to our panel.
I'd be happy if 5 showed up.
I
like
would be
Angie said.
happy if we had a panel. Okay, guys, let's start there.
The fact that we would be famous enough
My
to have a
mommy's
panel.
going to show up.
Oh, I would give everybody $1.
Hey,
Be
if
like,
you-
here, let's go.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, if your sister shows up, I'm good.
You're not her type, Morlin. Fuck
don't-
off.
I don't care. Doesn't mean nothing.
You're not her type. Fuck off. You're not good enough for her.
I don't
No
know.
one's good enough for my sister.
Hey, like I
More like
said,
could be your brother-in-law.
No.
Bobby's eyes just crossed.
Morlin, I love you, but if I saw you more than once a week, I'd probably put a bullet in my mouth.
So, guys, thanks for listening to this episode.
Are we not going to discuss Fyre Festival?
Oh, do you want to discuss Fyre Festival?
We did a lot of research. I thought that's why we watched
I was
all
about to say
that
that
stuff.
that's the the main one I took notes on.
Okay, Fyre Festival, go. We watched 2 documentaries on it. You know a lot.
Yeah, but this is your episode.
Fine. So Fyre Festival was that was what inspired this episode to begin with, to be honest. In 2017, this dumbass named Billy McFarland, who had been running kind of small cons up until and I'm not talking
we mean
conventions.
scams.
We're talking scams. Had been running a lot of these things, and it was kind of like he purported to be like this new entrepreneur who came up with the like millennials credit card and all of that stuff in Magnesis. So he teams up with Ja Rule, and they're like, you know what sounds like a good idea? Let's go to the Bahamas
And have
and
a fest.
have a festival, a
Have a
music
festival.
festival. So
2 weeks.
yeah, like
Let's have it for 2 whole
2
weeks.
weeks, and you know what? It'll be no problem. So we'll do something that normally takes 18 months and plan it in 4. So they start advertising this. And to be fair to them, whoever they had to
Their advertisement? Oh my god.
I know.
It was great.
The advertisement
Yeah.
was fucking
That's where
amazing.
they spent all their fucking money.
Yeah, they only had, so I don't know if anybody remembers this, but they had this little orange tile. And what they did is they had these huge influencers. And this is another thing we need to talk about is the social media influence.
Yes.
Who, like, would post this little tile. And as you're scrolling through Instagram, it was supposed to stop you and be like, what's this orange tile? So you click it, and it's this big video about, like, going to the Bahamas where Pablo Escobar's island is. And living in a villa near other models and influencers and listening to music and having Blink-182 play and all this stuff. So, of course, people were like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm going to pay for that. So, allegedly, they sold out of general audience within hours or whatever, however fast it took. Turns out it most likely was because so many people were buying the tickets, they didn't have enough space for them to actually be it. So, they're like, hey, no more general admission tickets. So then they have like villas that are like $30,000. You can get this grand villa, the Great Northwestern, for $50,000. All this stuff. So people are like, there are people like coming out of the woodwork like this little sus. Like, you know, we're in the music industry, and most festivals take about 18 months to plan. And if you look at the big festivals, like, they took years to get popular. Burning Man, Coachella, these festivals take a long time to grow. And they were, like, reporting that this was going to be, like, this you're going to come to this island, and this is where you're going to be at. So, the day comes in April, and they had said you were going to fly in on a private jet and end up in the island. Well, you end up on, like, a shitty-ass commercial airliner, flying into the Bahamas, and as they're pulling in, instead of finding these beautiful villas that you would expect to see, they have FEMA tents.
FEMA tents.
And the night before, there had been a huge monsoon that had come through, so the mattresses were soaked. They hadn't finished setting up. There was literally, like, just stuff everywhere. They didn't have enough water or food on the island. They had more alcohol out there than necessary.
well, they didn't have any food to begin with at first when people started arriving. And then when the food did show up, it was terrible food.
Yeah, it was cheese sandwiches. They were supposed to have these, like, gourmet chefs cooking for them, and it was like a cheese sandwich.
You would have made it all up if they had syrup sandwiches.
Yeah, exactly. The nitrous oxide from Rainfurrest.
God bless.
Damn straight.
So, people are on this island. They have, like, they said it becomes, like, basically Lord of the Flies. Like, every man for himself. Get a mattress, find a tent, try and, like, find a place to sleep at night.
Fuck a model.
People were peeing on, like, the tents. There was like 3 porta potties. It was crazy. Like,
it was bad.
And it was so bad that the guy who started it is in jail for 6 years for wire fraud, because he had basically, like, said he was going to pay all of these vendors, he was going to pay all of this stuff, and it never happened. So all this money he allegedly had, he did not have.
He took out 3 different loans.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he was
still
like,
didn't have enough money.
He had owned majority shares in Facebook, so people would think that he had money to take these loans. He didn't. And Ja Rule throughout the entire thing is like, this was my idea, this was my vision. And then suddenly he got really quiet after
And then
that.
I didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, I had no idea
Exactly.
what's happening.
I think, to me, he was the scuzziest person in
Ja Rule?
Why? Because he's black?
No.
No.
Because
I
he's
know, it's a joke.
Yeah, he totally...
He just
I
dipped.
feel like
just bye.
I feel bad for the
Billy McFarland is a jackass, and he should have gotten more than 6 years
Oh yeah.
for all the shit he did to those people, and
I mean-
continued to do
Yeah.
while he was out on bail. But Ja Rule, like, I feel like Billy got threatened.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth. You take the fall.
Well, if you watch the documentary, there are people who are on the Bahamas and still there who have not been paid. These people were working like 19 to 20-hour days trying to get this festival put together, and they were never paid.
It's fucked up.
It is fucked up.
And
Yeah.
now,
People had their luggage stolen.
I wonder if the
All kinds of
influencers are going to get sued or not. Like Emily Ratajkowski. So,
They paid Kendall Jenner like $50,000 just to advertise
I think
for
it
her.
was
$250,000.
Yeah, $250,000 just to
Just to mention it once.
just for one tweet.
And that's crazy that
And they didn't call it an advertisement.
No.
Acted like they were going. So what did come out of it was people now have to put advertising. If you're advertising,
Yep.
yeah,
you have to show it. Like on
Twitch. Twitch, you see
Sponsored.
sponsored or ad. It's because of shit like this. Like, you're saying, like, hey, I can't wait to go to this Fyre Festival, but you never go because you only were paid to advertise it.
Right.
I mean, there were people coming out of the woodwork trying to sue them because you advertised that this was this big thing that we were going to have. You put your name on it. And we, as stupid as it was for you to care what Kendall fucking Jenner thought, Like, you wanted to go to it because of her. Like,
Right?
that's
And
crazy.
when people out there say, you know what, they deserved it, they shouldn't have spent their money on some bullshit like that, that's not the point. We're not talking about that. We're talking about they were scammed.
Oh yeah, and when you hear luxury villa, practically a 2 week
That they're
vacation,
spending.
and your tickets are $500,
Mm-hmm.
all inclusive. Fuck yeah, that's an amazing deal.
And models are going to be there, and I'm going to,
I just want to go there. I just go there for a vacation.
yeah, in the
me and-
Bahamas,
me and
right
Ta-
on the beach.
Me and Tasha, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
$1,000,
like-
all inclusive. That's just
Yeah.
gross.
I go sit your shirt off.
And all they had to do
I mean,
was just have
she
a little
doesn't
bit of
mind.
food and a sound stage, and they probably could have pulled it off.
Or
Exactly.
at least taken more time to plan it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
meanwhile, they're telling them, don't do it this weekend because they have the great, like, the national boat races going on. There's not going to be hotels. There's not going to be cars to rent. Like, even in the documentary, you see where some of these people are, like, stranded because they don't have any way to get there because there's no cars to rent because it's in the middle of a fucking
Oh, and they
holiday.
didn't bring cash. They put all their money on the wristbands, which was another fucking scam.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put all their money
Yeah.
on their fire bands,
Yeah.
and because
Like in
they're
the-
like, all you have to do is scan your fire band, and everything's
Like
good.
the lady who actually ran the resort. Remember, she was saying she lost $50,000 out of her own pocket because she had to pay her workers, who worked night and day trying to feed these people who were stranded there.
Mm-hmm.
She's since been reimbursed on GoFundMe.
Oh, has she?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh,
good.
that's good.
Yeah,
I was
and-
gonna look that up actually. after
yeah.
that.
People were trying to get back home on the airplanes, and the airport staff locked them in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they're locked in a hot building all day.
Waiting for their airplane
No
to come
food,
back.
no water, no money.
Yeah.
Basically dehydrating.
It's because
passing
all they
out.
have is alcohol.
Exactly, because people decided, hey, let's pass around bottles of alcohol. That's what we got.
So, like, Fyre Festival really is, like, to me, it's like what exactly DashCon could have been. Like, DashCon's like the tiny little nerd con, and that's how you scam people. Fyre Festival is like, this is how you end up in jail.
Right.
Big boy.
Yeah.
Big boy prison.
But Fyre Festival, I think, there's two documentaries. It's Fire Fraud and Fyre, the best party that never happened. It's one's on Netflix, one's on Hulu. It depends on which one. Watch both of them if you want the full story of it. And then the Internet Historian did a lot of the stuff on what we talked about, DashCon. He did Fyre Festival as well, and Rainfurrest. And you can Google, like, worst cons out there, and there's some pretty funny stories on Reddit about the funny cons. So, yeah,
There's some pretty bad ones too.
there's some pretty bad ones. Like the Bacon Fest, and they ran out of bacon.
Crinklers.
How do you
Crinklers.
run out of bacon at the Bacon Fest?
Hard.
I've muted that word, by the way.
Crinklers.
Crinklers.
What?
Crinklings.
I love you, honey.
And I love the picture of the guy standing there with just a turd visible in his diaper.
Right?
Did you really do you know
Don't
the
look-
effort
that was
you
you,
would
wasn't
have
it,
to
Marlon?
put
No.
into to shit in a diaper?
I know.
It goes against.
I have problems like pooping in public in general. I'm not pooping in a diaper right in the middle of a con.
It's just,
I'm so
Marlon, have a talk with your
fascinated.
people.
they're not. Those aren't my people.
Oh.
Crinklers are not my people.
I'm gonna send Moreland a bunch of diapers
Me
when he moves.
As long as they're baby sized.
With a hole for a tail to be stuck
No,
in
no.
there.
It's full grown men
Yeah.
size.
No, I don't need those.
Crinklers.
I don't
All
need
right.
those.
Hey,
Hey, Becky.
Hi.
We're getting good at that.
We are harmonized.
Crinklers.
Where can they find this?
You can find us on Facebook at the Free Rotation
Spotify.
Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at the Free Rotation.
Ow.
You can find us on YouTube and Twitch at the Free
about
Rotation.
Weeby
And we
Geeks?
are also at Instagram at the Free Rotation Podcast. We are also
Crinklers.
affiliates of Weeby Geeks, the best podcast network for all of your geeky needs. Check them out at WeebyGeeksPC.com. We also are affiliates on Twitch at the Free Rotation. Please feel free to use your $4.99 from Amazon
Are
Prime.
we affiliates now?
We've been affiliates.
We've been
Oh, I didn't
affiliates.
know
Oh,
that.
we're just not partners.
Yeah. And you can check out all of our content at TheFreeRotation.com. Okay, bye. Crinklers.
And
And
the
the
radio network.
You
Radio
can also
Public.
listen to us on Radio Public
Oh,
if
yeah.
you so desire, but we are also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
all
Google
those other
Play,
Stitcher.
places.
not SoundCloud.
Oh, and thank you, Weeby Geeks, for it hit me.
No, it hit
Uh,
her.
that one. It hit that lesbian.
Thanks, Weeby Geeks, for all of the mentions of us on Twitter about checking podcast
Yeah.
recommendations.
That's how Scoob identifies us in a crowd. I don't know if you've ever been, but he'd be like, "Hey, lesbians!"
So, question: can we reapply for SoundCloud?
No, we're not.
No,
going
we're
to,
not going to be on
baby.
SoundCloud.
It's too expensive,
Oh, yeah. This costs
No, we
money.
have to like manually upload everything, and I ain't about
and
that
it's
life.
expensive.
All right, bye guys.
Bye, guys.
Crinklers.
Crinkle.
I'm gonna go smoke real quick.